Lads, I'm Ingood Nick and welcome to the Sheff United Way YouTube channel. And a few days ago I asked the Fans React lads to do me a midweek video. And in these videos that they've done for me, the first thing I asked them for was predictions on the next 6 games. I'm not talking about scores, I'm just talking about results. Because the whole point of the video is trying to find out where we're going to get our next points from. And also I kind of wanted to find out who was the most optimistic and who was the most pessimistic. Then I asked them if Chris Wilder will change his trusty formation and if they also would like him to. Because I know a lot of people on Twitter have been talking about, oh, he definitely should go 4-4-2. Or at least 4 at the back nevertheless. And after that I asked them which players should play. I asked them which players need to step up to dig us out of this hole. And obviously the biggest question of them all, will we in fact stay up? The reason why I ask these questions is because the next 6 games are going to be really tough games. And I think they will make or break our season. I know we've messed up against 2 of the teams that are going to be down there this season in Fulham and West Brom. But maybe we can pick up points against better teams. Who knows at this point? So without further ado, here's Adam, James, Robert and Steve.
Leicester at home, for me, a nil point, I'm afraid. Leicester have had an okay season so far. Fulham give them a bit of an upset. They're looking to bounce back from that, but I think for me mainly it's the Jamie Vardy factor. Golden Boot potential winner of the last few seasons. Big Sheffield Wednesday fan, I think he'll be the difference, unfortunately.
Not really expecting much. Leicester, one of the few teams to win at Bramall Lane this season, but I remain hopeful that we can nick something. I'm going for a 1-1 draw and a point for the Blades on that one.
1-1 draw.
I think we'll be able to nick a point at home to Leicester. They'll be coming off a short rest after their Europa League fixture on the Thursday.
Trip to St Mary's, a ground where traditionally we've not done too well. We ended last season at St Mary's with a disappointing 3-1 defeat. We looked promising in parts in recent games. So at St Mary's, I'm going for a draw, Southampton 0, Sheffield United 0, and that first clean sheet of the season.
They're going to have fans, so it'll be a tough one. I think it's probably 0 points from that game.
1 point, I think. I think we might get a draw here. We start to turn the tide. As long as we play how we did against West Brom in the second half, I think we'll start to see a bit of a difference there.
Just don't see it happening. Che Adams on the double, 2-0 to Southampton.
Third game, Man United at home. I see Dean Henderson starting for Manchester United. I see us getting a goal put past him, and then I think Ramsdale blocks a penalty from Bruno Fernandes. So therefore all this Henderson-Ramsdale talk ends, but it's going to be a draw in the end. So only 1 point from that game.
De Gea probably still has a knee injury. Dean Henderson, 10 wonder saves, including a penalty save. Scores a hat-trick himself at the other end. And Sheffield United Twitter explodes.
0 point again for me, I'm afraid. I think they'll just have a bit more quality. We were really poor against them the last time we faced them. I can't see us get anything sadly from that one.
Home to Manchester United. Well, that was a 3-3 thriller last season when the Blades could have had the Red Devils dead and buried. They came back and scored 3 before Oliver McBurney scored. Yes, an Oliver McBurney goal. Do we all remember those? Quite some time ago now. This one, the way Manchester United have played, I'm afraid, I can't see anything coming from this game. Sheffield United 0, Manchester United 3. A bit of a humbling.
The first win of the year against Graham Potter's men, Ollie McBurney, will get the job done for us there.
I think our first win will be there. I feel that we're better than Brighton. Did okay, did fairly well against Liverpool, but I just think we're a better team than them. I think we'll get our first win there.
They'll also have fans, but 3 points from that game. I think that's another one on the list that we've got to win.
Home to Everton. Again, last season, a game that we lost. Very disappointing end of season affair. Everton have been mixed. They've won some games, lost at home to Leeds recently, and they're a team that we can get at. I think this might be a bit of a surprise result, and I'm going for a Blades win. Everton will get on the score sheet, but the Blades are going to nick this one 2-1.
Fifth game up, Everton at home, probably a 1-1. Everton looks really good this year. It's going to be tough to get anything more than a draw out of that game.
1 point. They started very well, faltered a bit. We don't do so well with Everton. I think a score draw there.
Then home to Everton. I see that being a 1-1 draw.
Burnley away, another win for me. I think we can get something. I think we're better than Burnley. They really struggled to score. I think we can go there and get something.
We will condemn them to a firm place in the bottom 3 with a victory.
Finally, Burnley away. Yeah, it's away, but that's 3 points we got to get if we're going to stay up.
As 6 points has come, this is likely to be a 12-pointer. This could be the game that determines whether Sheffield United are a Premier League club next season. We went there in the League Cup, 1-1 draw. Okay, something a bit different. Teams probably weren't at full strength, but this one is crucial. And I think we will need to win, and I think that we will. Burnley 0, Blades 2.
So as you can see on screen, these are how many points the lads think we're going to pick up. Adam's gone for a very strong 11, Robert's gone for a 9, and James and Steve have both gone for 8s. So it's quite obvious that the lads are pretty much in agreement. We will beat Brighton and Burnley apparently, but we will struggle against the rest. Adam is obviously the dreamer, but all the rest of them are just quite level-headed Blades, it seems. And that does surprise me because on Twitter recently and Facebook there are so many pessimists. But maybe in our little group, I am the pessimist because we all know that Hal will be having us win 3-0 every game. Anyway, let's crack on and hear what the lads have got to say about the formation, about the lads that should be playing, the lads that should be digging us out of this hole, and will we stay up?
Will Wilder change the formation? Will he change the overlapping centre backs? Nope, I don't think he will. I don't think he will. Not that they're overlapping much, but I think he's going to stick to that formation, tried and true for him, although I do think we should change it at some point if it's not working. They say if it's not broke, don't fix it, but it's broke. We've got the worst start in Premier League history. We've got 1 point. We've got 4 goals, only 2 of them from open play. So the problem doesn't lie all at the back, but I think it lies at the front, and 2 up front is just not working. So I'd be tempted to go 3 up front, especially with all the money we've spent over the last 2 seasons on strikers, and with really no decent cover for O'Connell. You know, Ampadu's a good player, but that's not his position. Obviously, there's something going on with Wilder and Jack Robinson that we don't know, but he's not going to play him. So do we try 4 at the back? You know, maybe at our own peril, but when you've got 1 point and you score 4 goals, you have to change something. I don't know if Wilder will.
In terms of formation, I would stick with 3-5-2. It's served us well the last few seasons. I don't see a problem with that. I don't think we've been found out, as some people suggest. It's a good system, but I think the midfield needs to do better. At the minute, we've been doing a bit of long ball, midfield being bypassed. When we do overlapping centre-backs, you know, pretty much on the right-hand side, midfield is not contributing much there. They need to do more, for me, to make that system work. I'd like to see Osborne at left wing-back, though. I think he could do much better there than Lowe. And give Brian a bit of running the side. With Osborne, we might sort of create stuff on the left-hand side, especially with Fleck there to support the more attacking threat.
No, I don't think Chris Wilder is going to change his formation. Would I like him to? Yeah. I think we probably drop Norwood from the deep-lying midfielder role and put in a number 10. Who you put there, I would put McBurney or McGoldrick. You're almost having them play as that target man or that holding forward anyways. So just keep it going and put him in there as a number 10 with 2 other strikers.
So will Chris Wilder stay 3-5-2? That is the question. What would I like to see? With the defensive problems at the moment, my answer is no. I don't want to see 3-5-2, 5-3-2, any variation of it. I'd like to see 4 at the back, then 3 in midfield with David McGoldrick behind a front 2.
Our golden midfield, our best midfield, for me, it's the midfield that started against West Brom. Berger on the right, Norwood in the middle, Fleck on the left. We need to see them do more. They need to be better. Berger showed some great potential in a few matches where he was bombing down that right-hand side, getting crosses into the box. Last couple of matches, he's been a pedestrian, really. He needs to get better. Norwood, shadow of the player he was last season, but, you know, there's a good player there. I think I just want to see more through balls from him. Don't need to see the pings, just some through balls, some attacking intent. A bit more with the defensive duties as well. He got booked early at West Brom, then sort of went quiet, didn't really get involved. He needs to do better. And Fleck, we know Fleck can be quiet when he comes back from injury, but we're a much better side of him in the team. Charging forward, scaring defenders, they're my best midfield 3. In attack, this one's really going to divide opinions for Blades fans. For me, I would say Brewster and McGoldrick. I think McBurney has not had a good run of form lately. A lot of chances have come his way that have gone begging. But he's played a lot of games. I think he needs to have a run out of the side for a bit, give someone else a chance, give him a rest mentally, allow him the chance to come back and improve himself. Brewster looks very good at West Brom when he came on. I would stick with him. We've invested a lot of money into him. But I think he needs an experienced head alongside him, so I'd have McGoldrick alongside him.
My ideal midfield, would probably be Berger, Fleck, and Lundstrom. If you go switch to a 3-striker system, then my strikers would be Brewster, Burke, and McBurney.
Now, my teams can be quite fluid. I'd have Aaron Ramsdale in goal. George Baldock would be right back. Ender Stevens at left back. And I think if Stevens comes in, he has to be left back, not left centre back. And then I'd like to see Basham and Egan at centre back, or Ampadu and Egan at centre back. In midfield, it'd be Sander Berger alongside John Fleck and David McGoldrick. David McGoldrick playing in that number 10 role. Also in midfield will be one of Basham, Ampadu, Osborne, or Norwood. Now, I know that's quite a lot of choice, but I think Basham in midfield could be a little gem up the sleeve that we've not considered and could work very well for the Blades for the back end of this season. Up front, very tricky, but I'd go Burke and Brewster. Pace and natural finishing ability in Ryan Brewster. I did say when we signed Brewster that if he went 6-7 games without a goal, for the fans not to get on his back. We're at that point now, but I think he will come good. And of the others, a fully fit Lys Mousset could definitely play up front, but I worry about his fitness.
Who would I play in my Blades dream team? Well, I think Brian Dean and Tony Agana a bit aged out of being available for selection. So I'd have a mid-3 of Fleck, Berger, and Lundstrom. Say what you will about Lundstrom. He affected the game against West Brom much more than Ollie Norwood did. I think we need to pick a position for Sander Berger and stick with it. Is he going to be in the Norwood role, or is he going to be in the right midfield going forward role? Pick it and stick with it. And Ollie Norwood, love the guy, but he's not playing well. So I'd put Berger back in his holding midfield role, send Lundstrom up the right and Fleck up the left. Up top, this might be looking at it through Blade-tinted glasses, but I think it's time to throw Billy in and see what he can do. And perhaps pair him with Brewster, and maybe put him in a front 3 with Brewster and Mousset, or Brewster and McBurney. But have Billy just really affect that game and be that guy who knows where the goal is. He's not going to create. He's not going to dribble through a defense, but we need somebody who can score a goal. So for me, it's Billy and Brewster, and then use Mousset and McBurney and McGoldrick off the bench, or use one of them in a front 3.
So who needs to step up? Obvious answer, everybody. But I think one player who really does need to step up is John Fleck. He's come back into the side after injury, and he's starting to show small signs of being a John Fleck or old. But he needs someone with him. He needs that Sander Berger working with him. I think if he could link up with McGoldrick and burst on and get some shots on goal, we really need to see John Fleck step up and show why John Fleck is well respected in this league. Up front, the strikers just got to take responsibility. And the chances we've had, it shouldn't be down to defenders. Strikers are paid to score goals. We've got millions of pounds worth of talent up front now. In McBurney, we've got Brewster, we've got Mousset. That alone is over £50 million we spent on transfer fees. They need to get the return. The strikers have to step up. You cannot have 20 goals, 20 shots even, in a game like at West Brom and not be finding the back of the net. 20 goals would be an absolute dream, but we've got to be finding the back of the net sooner rather than later.
Realistically, McBurney and the other strikers have got to score. I think everybody's had their good game and their bad game so far this year, but we've held everybody to close games. We've held everybody to low scores, so we just need more goals.
Who's going to step up for Sheffield United? Hopefully, and I mean this with all sincerity, hopefully, it's all the other teams that are playing against our relegation rivals. So Leicester, losing to Fulham doesn't do us any favors, so stop that. But we're going to need some help. But we can only focus on what we can focus on internally. So you need somebody like your captain, Billy Sharp, to step up, but then you need people to start playing like the players that we paid for. And we paid a lot of money for Ollie McBurney, and we paid a lot of money for Ryan Brewster, and we paid a lot of money for Sander Berger. So it's time. You have to score goals. You have to create chances. You have to get back and defend. So I'm looking for those younger players to really step up and play like they're the 20 and 30 million pound players that we paid for. Because at the end of the day, if we have to turn around and sell them, we sure as hell better get close to that amount if we have to sell them in the shop window. And right now, that's not going to be the case.
Who needs to step up and help us get out of this mire? For me, the obvious one with the strikers need to do more. Ridiculous XG created at West Brom. We've got to take these chances. Got to. Well, the midfield has got to step up as well. They're anonymous at the minute. We're not getting the attacking threat. We're not getting defensive support. Our defenders are being run ragged, and some of them are a bit off form, but the midfielders aren't helping them. I think it was West Brom, where the strikers were very good at harassing players, trying to get the ball off them. Defenders as well. Midfield aren't getting involved in that anymore for me. I see them need to do more.
My heart absolutely 100% says yes, we need to stay up. We want to stay up and we will stay up. My head is saying it's looking a little bridge too far. We're going to need 39, possibly 40 points to stay up. It's a mini league. We're going to finish 17th. That's what I'm going to hold out for. But realistically, are we going to stay up? Sadly, as much as it pains to say it, I think we're going to be 19th place and it's going to be returned to the Championship.
Will we stay up ultimately? Mathematically and based on the form so far, not looking good. But I have to have faith that we can turn things around. Very well, very good in the second half of West Brom. So many chances created. If we carry on like that, I think we'll be okay. But we need to take the pressure off our defence. Midfield need to help them, support them. Midfield needs to step up as well. And in January, we need to get a creative midfielder. We missed out on John Swift, no seemingly second option there. And a left centre-back, a proven left centre-back. One more Premier League loan. Who's that going to be? Left centre-back or a midfielder? Sadly, no names shouting out to me, but we definitely need to recruit in those areas for me in Jan to give us any chance of survival. But I think we can do it. Keep the faith, Blades.
Will we stay up? Yes. We got to keep the faith. We got to support the Blades. But yeah, we can stay in this division for sure.
Will the Blades stay up? Head or heart? Head or heart? Yeah, Blades are staying up. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a slog. It's going to be ugly. But we're going to get on a run, and there's going to be some other team that gets dragged back down into it with us. And we're going to find a way at the end of the day to finish 16th. Mark it here. And don't ever play this tape if I'm wrong. Up the Blades.
Look at that ping from Norwood. Makes other teams look no good. We've got a team full of leaders. Alan Hill, Chris Wilder taught us. Yeah, there was us on the tour bus. Look how many goals Billy scored us. It's beautiful downtown Bromley. We are the boys from Shore.